Welcome, dirty peasants, to episode 20 of the Wartwood Gazette podcast. This week we'll be covering Amphibia Season 1, Episode 11, Grubhog Day and Hot Poppin' Lock. I'm your host, Thumbaticon, and joining me today, we have Pixels.
Hello.
King of the Uzbeks. And Ben.
Hey.
So, this week we pretty much have we didn't get any news this week.
Nah. I think September, we're going to get a trailer at least.
Yeah.
Most likely.
We just gotta hang in there.
Days are going by fast, man.
Yep, we are closing in. We're in the end game now.
Yes.
Yeah, it feels like only a couple of weeks ago where we had
The trailer, the announcement.
Yeah, the announcement. No, it feels like just a week ago, but it's actually been nearly a month.
Right.
But I guess we'll go right into Grubhog Day. So Grubhog Day is written by Michelle Cavan, storyboards by Matt Brawley and Kim Robertson, and directed by Derek Kirk Kim. And this episode was animated by Cyrom Animation. So, episode starts off with the planners. The Wartwood's having its Grubhog Day. It's like a festival where it's basically like Groundhog Day, where this creature emerges from its stump to determine if there's, I think, a few more weeks of winter or not.
Mm-hmm.
So, Anne, Sprague, and Polly are prepared to go on all the rides and just have fun until Hop Pop jumps out of the bushes and tells Sprague that he volunteered Sprague to watch over the Grubhog until the evening event happens. And even though Sprague wants to just enjoy the fair, he knows how important this is to Hop Pop, and especially the planner family name, since the last planner who was tasked with watching over the Grubhog ate it. Sprague agrees, and much to his dismay. So Anne, we cut to Anne and looking at the Grubhog and talking about how cute it is until it spits acid, and Sprague comes out with his I guess traditional Grubhog babysitting garbs. So he's not. So Hop and Polly basically leave, and then just Hop Pop tells Sprague not to tells him the whole family the family's reputation is hanging in the balance on this. And Sprague is just inside. He's kind of miserable. He's just watching some of those rides and just lamenting not being able to actually go out. Anne feels a little bit sorry for him, so then she comes up with the loophole that he has to watch the Grubhog, but that doesn't mean that he can't take the Grubhog with him. So after establishing that loophole, they grab the Grubhog. We have a little montage of them enjoying the fair. Then eventually there's this giant roller coaster that they want to go on, and when they're downhill, the cart hits a nail, and then the Hop Pop gets jolted out of the cart. But then Sprig and Anne, at first they're worried, but then they think they can just go back around another lap and grab him then. But then unfortunately, he gets snagged by some kind of vulture. So now without the Grubhog, Sprig naturally is freaking out. But then Anne finds a solution in making a puppet version of the Grubhog and acting as a basically an understudy for it for the actual ceremony. So we get to the ceremony. Sprig reveals Anne's hand puppet Grubhog. Everything actually goes great for a while. Anne does a few pranks, and basically becomes a comedy act that everyone seems to enjoy and love. And things are going great until Toadstool reveals the final part of the ceremony where they where they basically dissect the Grubhog, and then of course, not wanting Anne's arm to get amputated, Sprig jumps in and admits to the lie. So Hop-Up's not too disappointed by that. Like, he kind of blames himself, saying that he shouldn't have like thrown the responsibility on Sprig, and he should have just let him enjoy the fair. And then, even though they don't have the Grubhog, like, the town liked the puppet, so then instead they do puppet shows, and it ends up being very successful. And this segment basically ends with Anne and Sprig thinking about, like, wondering what happened to wondering if the Grubhog was okay, and it's revealed that, like, the bird is some kind of servant and speaking whatever language they're speaking in. He carries the Grubhog off to war. And that's Grubhog Day. So I think I need to say this, like, I guess this is a disclaimer. Amphibia, for me, doesn't really have a bad episode, but this is definitely not something. This is not a segment I would. When I think of Amphibia, Grubhog Day is probably the very last, absolute last segment I would think of. But
yeah,
I think what forces me to rethink this episode is earlier this year. Matt revealed that, like, this was the first segment that they ever, like, wrote and boarded, and as you can see, like, I didn't even think about it until rewatching it. Like, the storyboards were by Matt, and I think if I the characters are the characters are done fine. Like, there's nothing in this episode that, like, has some kind of 180 character change that we all disagree with. No, like, all the characters are in character, and even, like, that moment where, like, Hop and Sprig, like, Hop never, like, blames Sprig and even takes responsibility for, like, putting too much pressure on Sprig. Like, all the characters are, like, are serviceable. But looking back, like, now knowing that this was basically the first segment that was, like, ever created for the show, like, I can kind of excuse them using this as, like, some kind of way to, like, experiment, figure out what works and what didn't work. But what confuses me is how, like, late in the season this segment was placed, because basically, even though this was one of the first segments ever made, it was pushed back all the way past, like, the first half of season 1, which I think if this was earlier on in the show, I probably would have been a lot kinder to my overall impressions, because I could just say, oh, like, this is just them, like, finding their footing. And while that is the case, it's happening after so many strong episodes where I could go back and see, okay, Anne and Sprig are developing here, like, this other segment is Anne, like, trying to recreate a part of her home life, or the planners bonding. It's like, and here I really don't get that feeling. But I'm gonna state it again. I don't think there's an episode, like, a bad episode in Amphibia. Like, it's just something that I don't really think
It's
too
a
hard
strong
about.
word to say in this show.
Yeah.
Because the way it's paced and how the characters are introduced in the first season is really great. It's like it takes its time because the writers and Matt know that there's going to be a lot of characters that are going to be introduced, and we kind of got introduced. I think we got introduced to a couple more in season 2, I believe. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Pardon?
You didn't hear what I said?
No, like I kind of tuned out for a minute.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry.
I said that it's how it's paced. It's paced very well with its characters.
Oh
And
yeah, I heard that. I heard that part. Yeah, like
yeah,
season 1 overall.
and I believe in season 2 we got to learn a little bit more. We got to learn a little bit more about these characters. And we got to learn more about Ivy too, which is
Yeah,
and her
yeah, yeah.
mom.
We learned a little more about various town people in season 2.
Mhm.
And even all those segments would probably have been more interesting than what we got here, but like of course it's like the first segment, so like I can't really say, oh, we should have gotten like a townsfolk episode over this, because like I know like
Yes.
this would have been included somewhere in the series. Like it had to be, like in season 1.
I like it. I think it is. I mean, I've written stuff down. We'll get to it as we go through the plot. But it is a very much a quintessential season 1 episode. You have a fairly stock plot, but funnily written with the characters being engaging and entertaining.
Mhm.
There are, like I said, a couple of things that are a little nice in comparison to the rest of the series. But I think it's
Uzbeks, I think your mic's getting
Low.
cut off.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, I think it's a very solid.
Uzbek,
I
you
think
there?
Hello.
I think we
Yes,
lost him.
not hear me. I'm talking.
Like
Your
it keeps
audio's
getting
like
cut off.
low.
Like
Your audio's either low or like tuning out.
Okay, I guess maybe the background thing is working too well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess for now, like Ben, what were your thoughts on the segment?
I gotta agree kind of with you guys. Like it was an okay episode. It wasn't like it didn't like expand upon anything really like past episodes, and it wasn't really like Anne trying to bring anything from her world to Amphibia. It was kind of like already an established event. Uzbeks, you got a fan or something?
Yeah, I'll turn them off. Don't worry.
Oh, sorry. It did have some good little like jokes or fourth wall breaking with Hop talking about like the abyss and staring back at it with that when the Grubhog spit the acid.
Yeah, there were a lot. I'm sorry.
And when Hop jumps out of the bushes at the start, and it's like, "What are you doing in the bushes?" And he's just like, "I have no idea." And that's just to introduce Hop for the episode. They could have had him like walk in and be like, "Hey kids, how are you doing today?" But no, they just decided to have him in the bushes for some reason.
Yeah, the humor really saved the episode for me. Like, yeah, that first intro with Hop Up like was hilarious.
And
popped into bushes out of nowhere, and you didn't know how the hell they got in these bushes in the first place. I
Yeah.
don't know.
There's
And-
also there's where they're Anne and Sprig are going back and forth, and he, something along, and then Sprig goes, "This plan is flawless." Like there's no.
Yeah.
Very season one, early season one-ish vibes, but I like it.
Yeah, it is something. The plot is fairly stock Western kids show. The kids have a responsibility. They try to shirk the responsibility. Something goes wrong. They try to cover it up. The cover-up fails. There's your plot.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yep.
Forgiven.
Yeah.
End of episode.
Yep.
And like at the end, the Grubhog is on the thing that took it.
Yeah.
And
That-
he's like, to war, my friend, to war. And unless I'm mistaken, I don't think we ever see the Grubhog again
It's one
in
of those
season one. In season 1 or season 2.
It's that certainly took me out of odd because I mean sometimes you see that like gag twist endings that aren't like leading into anything, like faux cliffhanger that's just like for comedy. That's something you'll see in a lot of stuff, but not Amphibia. Amphibia doesn't really do that kind of ending that often.
They did it for Children of the Spore though as well, like with
but that was a
Jeremy
horror
Beetle.
Yeah, Jeremy.
Yeah, but I mean I wouldn't object to seeing the Grubhog back as like a episode villain or something.
Oh man, are we really gonna make Grubhog Day relevant to the series?
Oh man.
No, I'm saying like
Grubhog shows up in season 3.
Grubhog kills Frog Thulu. No,
Grubhog kills Frog Thulu in episode 1 of season 3 and becomes the main villain for the rest of the season.
yes, that's definitely how it
All that build up for Andreas's master, and it's not even relevant.
Like you see the Grubhog just like get like just flying towards like that giant frog monster like at Mach 3 and just taps him, and then like Frog Thulu, like his giant body just
Uses 1% of his power.
Yep.
But yeah, it was an okay episode. It just we don't like to say filler because this actually it still did like it still expanded upon the lore of Amphibia, which is always good.
I do have a few like detail notes. During the montage of them messing around at the fair, when they're at the bumper cars, they get crashed into by Miss Croker, which I know this was like bordered before, but that's nice. Like in the Grand Theft Auto,
yeah, Mrs. Croker's road rage, right?
Crazy driver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think in terms of this characterization, Anne's in an odd place because like her first instinct when Sprig has this problem is like just tell Hop Hop how you feel, which is the right answer in this context. But then she immediately jumps into like a crazy plan afterwards. So it's in the sort of middle ground of Anne's growing responsibility.
Yeah. Like there's this I like at least Anne tried to convince Sprig, but then eventually like she came up with a scheme. And I'm kind of surprised that I was kind of expecting the episode to go like, okay, they lose the Grubhog, and then they spend like half the episode like rushing to get him back, but then no, they just completely take him out of the equation until the end of the episode, which makes sense in a 10-minute segment. I feel like if it was a 22-minute episode, they probably would have had to give this whole kind of like journey. But Pixels, what were your thoughts on the segment?
It was enjoyable, to be honest. I would prefer the second episode over the
Yeah.
but it's still enjoyable. The Grubhog at the end of the episode reminded me of Waddles because of if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Bradley D. Baker probably voiced the Grubhog.
Well, it is an animal in a Western cartoon, so
yeah.
no bet.
I love how Hop Hop kind of felt guilty for putting so much pressure on Sprig.
And then
Go ahead.
at the end, when Toadstool is making fun of Sprig, Hop Hop's like, "No, you make fun of me all you want, but don't make fun of Sprig," which I thought was very sweet.
Yeah. To me, I think that's all I could say because there's nothing that much to say on.
Yeah.
Other than
I will say,
an entertaining episode.
I will say, when they're doing the puppet show,
yes,
you get some like side comments from like random towny frogs.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think it's interesting. We don't typically get that sort of cutaway humor in this, and it's a sign that, like you were saying, early episode they may not have hammered out some of the like. If this had been later, it might have been Ivy saying something or Maddie saying something morbid about Anne getting her arm chopped off, kind of joke. But since it was early, they hadn't worked out the side characters as much detail.
Like, I have a feeling that before they start like actually writing, I'm guessing they have like some idea of which characters are going to show up, and of course probably like the voice acting happens in like probably like a larger it happens in like a batch of episodes instead of just like one by one every time, I think. But yeah, definitely since this was so early on, like I remember Matt in an interview mentioned that like there was a lot more executive oversight for I think maybe the first half of season 1, and then it was very like hands off for the second half. But then if this was the first episode written and boarded, like of course probably the episodes that like the current episode order isn't the same as the episodes yeah, the current like the way season 1 is structured right now wasn't the same way it was written. So I'd be interested to see like which segments were written first.
Some of
and
it
then like at what point.
If it's a first effort, the first cut just could have been bad. Just like what they were working towards, they realized it wasn't good, so they pushed it back. As they gained experience and produced better early episodes.
That's most likely the case.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But then I'm curious why they took so long to put it like after. And keep in mind, this was after like Prison Break and Toe Tax, and of course, like we had the bomb format at the time, so when we were watching this, it was just like the next day. But imagine we had like a traditional like week to week airing schedule where we had probably like Prison Break, and then we went on like a 5-month hiatus, and we came back and we opened up the Grubhog Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that would have been painful.
Yeah. And I mean, Anne's arm should have like been broken at this point, which they kind of just never addressed after the ending of Toe Tax.
Oh yeah, because she got
Dem energy, bro.
I mean, it made this okay. I kind of have an idea, maybe why this might be so late. Like it's a small, not really that much supported. But like you notice a lot of the like early season 1 episodes are like Anne bringing stuff from her world to Amphibia, Domino 2, the pizza episode.
Her phone.
Yeah, her phone. Kind
Lily
of the
Pad Thai?
roommates. Yeah, Lily Pad Thai. But then a lot of the episodes, like later on in the season, are like her interacting with stuff in Amphibia that's like already established, like Grubhog Day. Hop Hop and Lock is like the dance. Frog of the Year, and like the snow day episode when everyone's frozen. Like that's all Anne, like introducing Anne to Amphibia events, not the other way around.
Oh,
So
I
like
understand. Yeah.
like Grubhog Days kind of falls into that category, so that's why it was probably put into like the second half of episodes. But that's just like me noticing a little bit of noticing some stuff.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, that makes sense. It'd be nice to eventually, like, one day, like, ask Matt more, like, for more insight on, like, the production of season
Guess you
1.
gotta ask him for an AMA on Twitter.
Hey, like, you're a Reddit moderator. You gotta pull your weight.
Damn.
So are you. I mean, I asked him for the banner contest.
Yeah, so you guys are practically like friends now.
Aw. Friends till the end. Right?
Yeah. Be like, hey, Matt Braley, we're friends, right? Can I have $10?
We cool, right? We cool, right?
Oh man.
If only it was that easy to be like friends with somebody at like Disney Channel HQ. Be like, I tweeted to Matt Braley once, can I pitch a show? I have zero animation experience and I have zero art skills, but I want a show. Give me money.
What could go wrong?
It's flawless.
But
It's
I
flawless.
think we should.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to
Continue, yeah.
I think we can move on to Hop Hop and Lock. I mean, Uzbeks, are there any? I know you enjoyed this episode. Like, is there anything else you want to add on for Grubhog Day?
No, I just think it is in some ways the quintessential season 1 episode. The stock plot, but really funny.
All right, thank you, Uzbeks. So I think I just had to hydrate myself after that segment. I think we can move on to Hop Hop and Lock. So
Yeah.
So Hop Hop and Lock is written by Matt Brawley and Jack Ferrero, storyboards by Jen Strickland and Steve Wolfhard, and directed by Bert Yoon. So after losing the stand from the events of Planner's Last Stand, Hop Hop and the kids have resorted to selling their veggies in a dark alleyway in town. So I'll Hop Up sneaks out to try and lure some customers in. He encounters Sylvia Sundew, Felicia's mother and Ivy's grandmother, who he thought had left town but has returned. So obviously, Hop Up clearly has some clearly has some feelings for Sylvia, and Sylvia, like, surprisingly, like, she also seems to be like interested in Hop Pop's veggies.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
So, like she just grabs I don't know, whatever like vegetable Hop Up
Just
had,
call it
because there was like,
a kumquat.
oh, it
Right?
was a kumquat, okay,
I
and it was
guess. I don't know.
because she's into the weird ones, like she grabs like a really weird shaped one and leaves, and then
Oh my
like
god.
Anne clearly like sees everything that's going on, and like points that out to like Spring and Polly, and then Hop Up talks about like how like he can't, like he doesn't know how to like approach her, and he's wondering
Yeah.
if there's like some kind of way to like get her attention, and then that's when we hear about like the some kind of dance festival that's being held that night. So then Hop Up thinks it's a good time to like probably go to that event and like try and ask Sylvia out. But then at the same time, his I guess his arch nemesis that we've never seen until now and never see again, Monroe, he shows up and he decides he's gonna go to the dance as well. And apparently he's also been into like he's interested in Sylvia,
Monroe. Yes.
and like and yeah, and then and Polly mentions that apparently like Monroe is better than Hop Hop at all like the old people activities. But then like Hop Hop's determined to like learn how to dance and try and win Sylvia's heart. But unfortunately, like his dancing novel doesn't really help him. He ends up like destroying the broom or the figurative girl of his dreams. So he's miserable until he hears like a loud bass booming, and then like he heads to the basement. He notices that Anne can dance, and then like after like Anne like gets like surprised and like chucks her shoe at him, like she eventually agrees. She eventually agrees to teach him how to dance, and of course, uh, tells Polly and Sprig, even though Hop Up specifically wanted to keep it on the down low. So we get the next part of the episode is basically like Anne teaching Hop Hop how to dance. So it's like footwork. Uh, like I can't remember everything that happened at
I
once.
think
Like,
it's like footwork, rhythm, and then
oh,
freestyle.
and then freestyle, yeah. And then like of course like Hop Hop doesn't really have the Hop Hop doesn't really excel in footwork or rhythm, but freestyle he's actually enjoying himself. But it's such a terrifying sight that Anne tells him never to freestyle again. So after a little bit more montaging, eventually Hop Up gets the Hop Up gets some moves, I guess, and it's like already sundown, and they quickly head out to get to the festival. So they get to the festival, and then of course Hop Up goes to approach Sylvia, but then Monroe asks Sylvia for a dance. And then Hop Up like he's not backing down after all of his hard work, so he decides to ask so he decides like to challenge Monroe to a dance off, and then like like Hop Hop shows off his moves, but then like Monroe just like unfortunately like completely crushes him. And just when you think like all hope is lost, like Hop Hop like resorts to like the nuclear option of doing freestyle, which of course is like horrifies everyone in the crowd. And then just when you think like Hop Hop's like lost, like Sylvia reveals that she's just as weird as he is, and decides to join him. So eventually, like they like everyone's just like terrified at what they're looking at, and then like Toadstool immediately like ends the festival right there and then, and like everyone heads home.
So petty for that.
so then,
So
so then
petty.
Hop Hop like shares a moment with Sylvia, and then like he wants like he wishes that there was like more music so that he could like dance like the night with her. And then of course like Spring pulls out his fiddle, and then like the episode ends with them waltzing, and also like Anne and Polly waltzing in the background as well. So that was Hop Pop and Lock, and I really liked this episode. I guess like after the events of Planner's Last Stand, and even throughout the show, like the writers love to torment Hop Pop for comedy, and it is entertaining, but it's really nice to see like Hop Pop like finally something finally goes right for Hop Hop,
Right.
which is I'm happy for him. Like, you know, he's been through so much,
Mm-hmm.
and it's nice to see him like get a win here. And
Got the
also in
dub.
this episode, we had that instance of like it's nice to see like Hop Pop's willing to go to Anne and like basically like learn something new. He's willing to like go outside his comfort zone. In this case, is he's going to Anne to like for dancing advice, and like all the animation, like because they're all dancing, like of course like they had to like board this well, and they did. So it's nice to see like all like the fluid motion, especially with Monroe, because even though like we all despise Monroe, like he like his scene was like pretty nice. Like his scene was well done with all of his moves and whatnot. And Sylvia was a really nice addition to the town. Like she really like complements Hop Pop's energy. Like it's a really nice duo between her and Hop Pop. And I'm looking up the voice actor or just the actress for her. It was Mana Marshall. So I feel like I've heard her voice before, but I'm not sure where.
What's your name?
Mana Marshall. A lot of anime, but
Oh,
even though I don't watch anime, but she was a great addition to the cast, and I think I talked about everything I wanted to talk about.
I'm looking at her wiki right now. Yeah, a bunch of anime.
I guess Uzbeks, I know this wasn't really your favorite segment, but like what were your thoughts on the episode?
Let's see. I thought the sort of black market bit was pretty funny. Sprig, how eager he was to do crime. Sylvia, I mean, she's got more development than like Lazy Susan did in that Gravity Falls episode. As far as love interest for the old male character. I really Monroe just I feel like if I hated him, I would like it better. But he's just like such a generic rival that I hate him as like a character and like a device, as opposed to like someone like say Andreas, who I hate, but like in that sort of way. If I'm making
Yeah.
sense, he's just sort of bland rival, never mentioned before, never mentioned again.
Yeah.
Maybe he kills Frog Thulu.
Monroe is like secretly
Shuffleboard.
the best warrior ever.
Yes.
Like the Grubhog like he grabs Monroe when they both fight.
It's just a three-way battle of Frog Through versus the Grubhog and Monroe.
Yeah, they're the ones in the mural. It's just a weird angle in the mural. That's why it's like this.
Can we go back to the voice actor real quick? Mana.
Yeah, sure thing.
She voiced Sheila Broflovsky in South Park. Kyle's mom.
Huh.
Pretty cool.
Huh. I don't watch South Park, so I don't understand what that means.
Really?
No.
South Park's great.
I know. I just never got into it, but yeah.
Fair.
But I get Pixels. What were your thoughts on this segment?
I will say this first. I like the music in this episode. The music was pretty good.
Oh yeah, I forgot to bring up the music, but yeah, sorry, continue.
Yeah, it was like a mix of like all different genres. Like we have like disco, we have pop, we have like smooth jazz, guitar. I love it, and it fit well with the each scenes. I want to go back to the beginning where Sprig put on a ski mask.
Yeah.
I don't know if the bot can pull it up or you can pull it up. I put it in the chat earlier.
It was
It
like,
was so
criminal activity. Exciting.
yeah, exciting. And then a few seconds later he got beat up by a bunch of cops.
Pop, pop, it's the fuzz.
Yo. Oh my god.
We
And you
But
have that
see,
quick
and
that
we
scene where like Anne carries out like Polly like a football and like just
Oh,
dip.
man,
Anne
right?
and Polly had a cute little dynamic this episode. It was a lot of Anne being sort of
Oh
big
yeah,
sister, carrying her
it
around.
was.
yeah, at the end they were dancing together. There was a little sibling dynamic.
Yeah. I would like how we got more focus on Hop Hop because he needed throughout this whole beginning scene, like you said, he's been like, tortured to say, because taking charge, he knew he messed up, but he sacrificed himself anyway and got electrocuted. Not sure how he survived, to be honest.
It's a cartoon.
I know it's a cartoon.
The
Yeah,
electricity doesn't have as much amperage. Like cartoon electricity doesn't have enough like amps to
it's
fatally wound you.
it's like 1 amp apparently. Yeah, but like I'm glad that Hop Hop was happy. Yeah, we knew more. I wish we could kind of learn a little bit more about Sylvia, but I'm okay with that. That we know a little bit. We know a lot. Sorry to say, we know enough about her already. It was Hop Hop's crush back then, and now, and back in the beginning scene, Hop Hop was so just ready to bust. I'm sorry to say that, but
I mean, he was really red.
he was ready to bust. He was like turning red like crazy. I like the ending of the episode too. It was nice. Hop Hop was happy. Got to name Sylvia. Everyone was happy. Who cares what the town folk and Toadstool says? They don't know what true love is anyway. Yeah.
Ignore the haters.
Word for real. To all the viewers, ignore the haters. Love is love. But yeah,
Hop
that's
and
all I have
Sylvia
to
is the
say.
best ship.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I mean, she's...
Yeah, forget Starco or Lumity. Hop Hop and Sylvia, best ship ever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ben, don't blame me if you get canceled for saying that.
Oh no.
But yeah, I like that ending where like Sprig is wingmanning for Hop Hop,
The violin, right?
Mhm.
and he's doing it with his long sleeves, right?
Yeah, he has comically long
yeah.
sleeves.
He has
Clearly,
good grip.
found Taylor by the time of the dinner.
He has good grip, apparently.
Sasha got a better Taylor.
Yeah, he got better Taylor.
Speaking
But I
of
kind of like.
this is one of the worst offenders in Anne's magic bag of outfits.
Oh yeah, she got that blue dress.
And the workout outfit, which I can see her having a workout outfit.
Yeah.
Especially since she has a school uniform, something to change into after school.
Or probably for like gym or something.
I mean, if you really want to get into like headcanons that have no basis in canon, she was going to put on that dress for a birthday party or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I remember someone bringing that up at the time.
But like, why would she have it at school then?
Yeah, like I said, headcanon without. I mean, this is like This is
Her
actively
backpack is a
looking-
bag of holding.
Yes.
It got everything.
This is one of those times where like you're actively working to make the show seem better when the show doesn't really deserve it. Not that this is a bad episode or that like Anne having a bunch of outfits is like breaks the show, but yeah. I liked Polly's top hat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the top hat was. I was kind of disappointed that it didn't come back in the dinner because like it was such a nice like
It was such
Touch.
yeah.
It was a
It was
little
such an, like,
cute
a neat-
little addition.
yeah, because it's still part of her main like design, but it's just like it was a nice like switch. It works perfectly for her, and even for Sprig, like I like the long sleeves, like gives him some
Personality.
yeah, it gives him some personality. Like even later on when they all go to a backup Hop Hop, like Sprig's like sleeves like kind of like dangle when he walks. It's kind of cute.
Yeah. I do wonder at what point Polly is expected to start wearing clothes now that I guess season 3 spoilers.
Yeah, we don't care about that. Yeah, like it's.
Well,
I mean, yeah, she's always been naked, but we don't need to think too hard about that.
I
Like,
mean,
Yeah.
let's
she doesn't
not.
really have a body at that
And-
moment.
and none of them wear pants anyways. Like Sprig doesn't wear
Yeah.
pants.
I'll wear pants.
Well, Hop Hop is an older fellow.
Yeah, let's move on before we end the madness.
I mean,
But yeah, there's dance off. That's pretty nice. Mayor Wartwood's in both of these in sort of his administrative capacity as a rude official.
and I just want to kind of go back to the music. Like at this point, this is probably like other than the theme song and the outro / Anne's theme. This is probably where we got like the best tracks of the show until
Yeah.
for a
the-
while.
The training montage song that was like that's a
Yeah.
great song.
Is this the first time we see Greg with his fiddle? Or is there an earlier episode? With
No.
No.
Taking charge.
Oh, yes, you're right.
He's a really good fiddler.
I wonder if his fiddle
That
is
made
left
no
him in
sense.
Anyway. But yeah, he's a good fiddler. Glad he could provide some backup for his.
Is that a word?
Also, this episode we get to see like more of Sprig's hair. I mean, we've seen it in the past, but like not this much.
Yeah, like
I
slick
don't
back.
know. That's random thought I just had.
Yeah, I think the first time we see it is in Domino 2.
Yeah.
And like it's for a brief moment, but like here at least it's like it's tidied up for the event.
Yeah.
And I mean, the only thing that kind of took me out of the experience was that like we know that like Sylvia is Ivy's grandmother, and like Ivy and Sprig also have their own thing going on. But like, I mean, if we had to make it less weird of who gets to stay with who, like I would have to break off like Ivy and Sprig without hesitation because like Hop Hop needs Sylvia a lot more than Sprig needs Ivy.
It never comes up. It like I don't. I mean, I get why it's people find it weird, but it's not like tension at any point. It's not like I think you could very easily watch the show without ever making that connection. If we weren't like doing deep dives into every episode, I don't know. It's just never struck me as a huge like.
Right, and if it was, I know, but if it was never like a huge thing, then like it confuses me like why they would like make Sylvia relate to Felicia and Ivy in the first place if it's never brought up again.
I mean, like.
Which is, yeah, like it's not a big deal. It's just kind of, it's like
it was like a
town.
it was kind of like a random like line put in. Like Ivy's mom was like, she said like, "Mom, what are you doing?" or
Yeah,
something.
Sylvia talks about like wanting to. Hold on, let me pull up the
Like
line. It was
Dan, Dan,
she wanted to feel the embrace of man.
yeah. Like they could have just said Sylvia was like just an old friend
Yeah,
and left it at
whatever.
that, but
Mhm.
yeah, I don't. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, like the humor and like I like I really uh like when Matt Brawley and Jack Ferrero like when they come on for an episode because you can kind of see there's like you have the episode always like alludes to previous events. Or not alludes is not a good word. Like it always references previous events. It has like that
Right.
like signature comedy, and then it still has like that heart in the end. So I always look forward to like these kinds of segments. I don't know, just this episode really like worked really well with me. Like
Mhm.
it had a little bit of everything I need. Like I know I know Uzbeks mentioned in like for Grubhog Day that was like the standard Amphibia episode, but I kind of see Hop Hop and Luck as like the standard of quality that like I expect from Amphibia's like more laid back episodes.
The o- the only part that like I guess I kind of didn't like about this episode is like is basically just the fact that Monroe is just introduced just randomly like, oh, he's your token rival guy from Hop Pop's life. And like Polly and Sprig go off and list like, oh, he's good at shuffleboarding, lawn bowling, etc., and he always wins. Like, I feel like instead of
Yeah.
that, they could have had like a short little um um montage of like him beating Hop Pop in all those events rather than like
Yeah, you're right.
telling us.
And it feels like going forward.
It just felt like an exposition dump
Yeah.
in that moment.
And I think,
And
like I
like
said,
after this episode, we just never see him again.
and I think that's a function of the writer realizing he didn't quite fit for whatever reason. So
Yeah.
there are better talents to work with.
I guess
Write a
Monroe was a
total
little
redemption
too
rather than this, than something for him.
like I guess Monroe was like too I guess antagonistic to like fit in with the Wartwood cast because like of course we've seen like other Wartwood residents like show up in like as background characters in a lot of episodes, but we never see Monroe again. Like he just like Van after like Hop Hop gets Sylvia, like it's like Monroe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just
He's
leaves
so
Wartwood. He's like, I'm out.
he's so
Right.
repulsed by their dancing. He just
Oh
vanishes from
no!
existence.
One of them. One of the weird ones.
He just leaves like Frog Valley and never comes back.
Dude, he just dipped.
Yeah, like what else do we need to cover?
Um,
We covered the dance, like Hop Hop's like
yeah.
dance moves, and
I kind of covered the music when I was
yeah,
talking,
we covered the music, and then
and has a different outfit.
yeah, Uzbeks brought that up too.
Ah,
Oh, there was like a when Hop Up does the dance and then like everything collapses on him. Like you see that book that says "Dying Alone" on top of
oh
him.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Hop Hop seems very concerned with that.
Jesus, man. A lot of people thought, yo, he's gonna die, man. I know, he's gonna die, bro. Like, no. People thought
Like-
that too in season 2.
When the writers make this many like death jokes about a character, they're not gonna get killed off. Like that's just like
Right.
common like thinking.
It's cartoon philosophy at this point.
Yeah, it reminded me of all like the Grunkle Stan's gonna die theories too.
Yes. Because he did so much
Yeah.
crazy stuff like blindfolding himself while driving.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. I already covered it. I already mentioned this at the beginning, but like, it's nice to have like continuity of like the planners still struggling to make ends meet basically without their stand, and they've just resorted to like illegal produce distribution.
And we do see the like cowboy type sheriff frog again, and also I think maybe the first time we see those like British police frogs.
Yeah, we don't see them again until like season 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they don't say anything this episode. They're just there. It's like a good like just continuity build.
Yeah, it's like how many were there? 2 or 3? But like
There's 2. There's the
okay, yeah.
cowboy frog, and then the 2 other ones that are like British.
I guess that's like a really nice like. It was nice of them to like to remember that in season 2 and to just have them featured for I think it was Friend versus Robo. Sorry,
Yeah.
Friend or Robo. Yeah, those are. I mean, yeah, just like seeing those cops again. Like, I'm just like surprised that
it's gained up on a 10-year-old frog.
The show remembered them, but not Monroe.
Oh God, you're right.
Maybe he'll be in season 3 as like trying to become a general of the rebellion or something.
Monroe will be a human.
Oh man, imagine the sorrow finding out that like Hop Pop inspired a revolution.
Dude. Oh man.
Oh man, it's like, yeah, Monroe, you beat me at shuffleboard, but have you caused a class war? Didn't think so.
Do you hold a lot of guilt? I don't think so. You had it easy.
You were in one episode. I was in an entire 2 seasons so far.
And yeah, like I think Hop Pop has gotten like. This episode reminds you that Hop Pop gets a decent amount of exposure in both seasons of the show. Like, we had him as early as like the stakeout, taking charge, Hop Luck, like all like Hop Up gets like a decent amount of screen time, and like
he does.
I mean, he's one of the main characters. He gotta have screen time.
I was also gonna say that he's kind of like a parental figure to Anne right now.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right. Especially in season 2, with all the stuff that's been happening. There was a rift between both him and Anne. So we talked about it already, like I think 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, I think we're getting like a little too
deep.
Yeah, too deep into it.
We need to go deeper.
Guys, it's that good.
Deeper into the dreams.
And then like this, at least this isn't like a one-off where like Hop Hop gets Sylvia and then she like never appears again. Like at least she shows up like later in the season, which is nice. I think the fishing episode. Yeah. What was it called? I'm looking for the name. Family fishing. Yeah. Okay. Family fishing trip. So yeah, it's nice that Sylvia reappears because since like she's already like she was a nice addition. And I think we covered. I mean, we didn't talk about like the fire. I'm guessing the fire ants that Hop Up just like casually decide to bring
Yeah,
to
he just
the
brought those with the
to the
dance.
festival.
And
Yeah,
they like
like
they cause actual fire, so like he just kept them on his person for reasons.
I mean, maybe he was gonna use them on Monroe. I don't know.
If he didn't dance with Silly, he was going to burn Monroe's house. Jeez, that got dark. I'm sorry.
No,
That
that's
was
fine.
dark.
That's where Sprig gets his. Remember in the Shut-In where like Sprig burns down the monster's like house? Like he got that. He learned that technique from Hop Hop, I guess. I don't know. Scorched
Arsene
Earth,
is the planter family.
Scorched Amphibia. Oh, I liked when at the dance like Anne like drinks her glass like a shot and just like throws it off screen. And then like the kids all like act as like Hop Pop's like backup crew with like the finger snapping.
West Frog story.
Oh my god!
I
yes.
like also like at the beginning of the dance that they show like Miss Croker just like stealing all the drinks, just like drinking one, putting it down, and
We
then
need to talk about your
taking the
problem,
next one.
Croker.
Talk about what?
I'm making a joke about. We need to talk about your problem, Miss Croker.
Oh yeah, she chugged the hell out of that.
Yeah, she had like four drinks in like a couple
Of
seconds.
quote unquote fruit punch thing.
And later on in reunion, we see Mrs. Croker. Like she's also at like the food stand with at the like the Toad's like buffet bar, just like grabbing food and leaving. I mean, was Mrs. Croker having drinks here foreshadowing for reunion?
Everything's connected.
The gluttony, the gluttony of the Toads and Amphibia can all be traced back to Mrs. Croker here.
Miss Croker is the seven deadly sins gluttony. All the other characters in Amphibia represent a sin.
I feel like you could make the case for like Hop Hop representing like each of his spotlight episodes probably have some sort of sin related to them.
Oh,
like Planner's Last Stand was like I guess greed. This could be
This
lust,
one-
I guess.
Lust or envy, kind of.
We'll figure that. We'll make
work
that link.
Another day for another time.
Oh, and then like everyone kept asking, I think the musicians to like play music, and then like at the very end, like one of them, she's like, "Yeah, like that's what we've been doing all night." Like, oh, Hop Up tells like the musicians to start playing, and then she's like, "Yeah, that's what we were doing," and then they just start. I mean, I think we've covered everything. I guess Uzbeks, do you have any final thoughts on this segment?
Yeah.
Uzbeks, no?
Nope, I don't.
Oh, okay. How about you, Ben? Any final thoughts?
No, I don't really got anything. Good episode. Random Monroe introduction, and then we never see him again. Good background gags. And Sylvia's a good character. We learn about, and then we see more of in the future. So, yeah, good character introduction of a recurring character too. That is all.
All right, thank you, Ben. And Pixels, any final thoughts?
No, it's a great episode, all in all.
All right, thank you, Pixels. And yeah, like I overall like I enjoy this episode. I'm a big Hop Hop fan, so it was nice to get more of him and him actually winning in life. And animation was nice. Music was like spectacular. And yeah, the humor, like all the jokes were funny. Like, oh,
the
I,
music was great too.
yeah, and I also liked when Toadstool like announces the dance off. He's like, "Oh, two stallions have taken to the dance floor." There's a lot of funny one-liners. Not even one-liners, just like really like funny dialogue.
Yeah.
But I guess that concludes this week's recording. And next week we'll be covering. Let's see what we got. Civil War and Hot Popular. Ooh, that's an interesting pair.
Oh, and it's like a ship war episode next week, so that should be interesting.
It's Platoon for shippers.
And it's also another like Hop Hop focused episode as well.
Based on shipping.
Oh yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Hot Popular is definitely Hop Pop.
Yeah, that one. Not really Civil War.
Oh no. Civil War's like I think it was a Polly Sprig episode.
Polly Sprig.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll get more into that next week. So thanks for tuning in and say goodbye, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.
Bye.